Hi guys, Toby here with a new video, and this video will be my final video about the game plan, the mains that I'm going to play in the War Within. I know I've did a tier list about what I actually ranked my characters into the main spot or alt spot, but I have actually figured out what I wanted to do for the War Within. I have the early access, so the 23rd I will be playing. So obviously I will have to know which one I want to level first, and also just in general, am I going to main that character at the end of the day or not? And for some context, for me a main is something you're going to spend a lot of time on, so a class that you're going to play a lot and that you're going to spend on ranking up. So obviously some people think that 4 mains or 3 mains or even like 2 mains are too much and you have only one main, but for me it is possible with how I actually have my time in check and how I actually use my time. For me 4 mains is something that I can reliably say that I have 4 mains because I do play all the characters equally, and I would say also I push them equally towards other facets. For example, if I would play rogue, most likely I'm going to try to rank 2v2 very much and also solo RPGs. If I'm playing a warrior, I'm not going to play too much 2v2 because I don't like 2v2 gameplay of warrior, but I will be ranking in 3v3. And I will do some solo RPGs, but not too much because warrior solo RPG is not that fun, for example. Or if I'm playing, let's say, a holy paladin, I will be preferring to do 3s than 2s because just in general, holy paladin is more fun in 3s than in 2s. So I'm able to scatter my attention towards other classes so I can actually improve on them, but also improve at talking about them. That's why I can talk about any class right now, although maybe not the age, because I don't really have that much knowledge about the age. But if I can talk about shamans, I can talk about warlocks, I can talk about priests, I can talk about death knights, and not seem like a fool, for example, right? And that is because I do spend a lot of time playing those classes, but also I have a lot of knowledge already because I played multiple expansions before on these classes, and not all the classes have been reworked. But also in general, I spent too much time in re-rolling and alting and playing like every single character. Like every single character you see on my character list is our characters that I play most likely to a certain extent. And then you have my mains, obviously, that I play like every single season, where I do make guides, for example, like warriors, shamans. I make guides about paladins as well. I make guides about warlocks sometimes here and there. Those are the classes I do play a lot. And obviously, some people think you only have one main, but for me, you could have 4 mains. So that's a bit of context. Again, I think there will always be people in the comment section below like saying that you cannot have 4 mains or 3 mains or 2 mains and only have one true main, which I can understand from a perspective if you're playing like limited time. But I have like enough time I can spend onto the game because it is a hobby for me, but it's also somewhat of a stream income, income stream, I believe. So again, I spend my time to also invest it on YouTube, obviously. So, I thought out very, very carefully, and I actually decided that warrior is a bit weird to put it on the alt section when truly it is always like the first character I'm leveling every single expansion. So it's weird for me to ignore the fact that I'm somewhat of a warrior main in general. Like I play warrior every single expansion. And also every single season. I think the only season I didn't really play too much Warrior, it was season 4. But like for example, season 1 I did play a lot of Warrior, I did play a lot of Warlock and a lot of Shaman. And I think I played the mostly Warrior at that season 1. I also made multiple videos about it. So for me, I decided to say, look, I really want to main Warrior. I think Warrior is always going to have a special place in my heart, but also in general we have Fury, Arms, and also even Protection Warrior, which all three super interesting specs, especially in PvP, where you can actually have a lot of like flavorful aspects towards those like specs. They got reworked. They have also some great hero talents. Colossus as Arms Warrior is super interesting. Slayer for Arms and Fury are both interesting and very fun, and I think very meta. But also Mountain Thane. I think Mountain Thane people are not going to play that much because they think like Thunderclap is not doing too much damage. But I want to prove you guys that in AoE situations and in real like 3v3 with like a bit of a cleave situation, you could have a lot of damage with that hero talent. So for me, warrior has been a choice that I should lean on, and I will be leaning on. I think I'm going to main warrior, and I think it will be the case once we are like the 23rd. It might be the first class I'm going to level up. Then I'm thinking about like Death Knight, and I'm thinking, right? I know that I have a lot of fun with Death Knight. I know that I already said that it will be my main. But, and that's a big but, I don't know if truly I want to spend all my time into Death Knight and to say that it is going to be my true main in the War Within. Why am I saying that? I think the playstyle is very fun. I think it's going to be exciting to play, but I do feel like everyone and their mother are going to play Death Knight. Why am I saying that? I like seen multiple videos of people saying that they're going to main Death Knight. I think on the forums people are like excited about Death Knight. I think on Reddit people are excited about Death Knight. PvE Death Knight is doing fantastic. PvP Death Knight is doing fantastic. I'm going to say that the playstyle is going to be very fantastic, but it's going to be nerfed somewhat. And I don't know if I really want to play a uphill battle, because I already do that with Shaman. So I don't know if I really want to go back to be doing some uphill battles where I have to fight through the buffs and nerfs and telling myself like, do I really want to spend the time to do so? And yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to be sure about that. So for me, it's going to be a big question mark, and that's why if I really am going to play DK, it will be the last class that I will be leveling coming into the War Within, and that's because I am already hesitating about Shaman, for example. Shaman is a class, like I said, an uphill battle class, kinda. Elemental Shaman is going to depend on balancing. I think you have multiple playstyles, like I said. I think currently people are like looking at Shaman and they said that Elemental Shaman would be trash, and then at the end of the beta, where literally Shaman is getting nerfed, it's not like getting buffed, people are like deciding that it is an 8-tier spec. So people are putting Elemental Shaman higher than they would think at the start from the rework, while they currently got like multiple nerfs. So I did see this coming. I did see that Elemental Shaman was going to be a very strong spec, but I also see pre-patch as a very big enemy. People are like putting that much effort in making it very like looking OP, because it is OP in pre-patch, don't get me wrong. But I think Blizzard are going to look at it and they're going to say, look, it was OP in pre-patch. We're going to also think that it's going to be OP in the War Within, because there will be hero tons. So that's why I'm like a bit scared about Elemental Shaman. And I'm super scared about Enhancement Shaman, because Enhancement Shaman seems like very undertuned. But we are like only 4 days away, 3 days, maybe 2 days, depending on when you're watching the video. And I don't see any balancing changes towards Enhancement Shaman. They're still keeping Wind Fury very weak. They're still keeping Stormstrike very weak. I don't see any changes towards that. Like, it's not like changes I see and I feel like, they are on the right approach. They just don't tune it correctly, kind of feel. Like, right now, Shaman has the feeling of, especially Enhancement Shaman, the feel of they're satisfied with what they see, and they're going to probably wait for season 1 to be starting before they're going to change anything. So it's really a coin flip like class to play right now. Her Restoration Shaman, interesting, but I generally don't really main like truly main a healer. I do play a healer like an alt kinda. For example, Holy Paladin, I would main it, but in other words or in other people's eyes, it would be just an alt, and that would be the correct thing to think. And Restoration Shaman is kind of a spec that I do play whenever I have to heal and I want to play Shaman. And I was playing Enhancement Shaman, but I need to heal. I would be just turning Restoration Shaman, for example. So that's really scary. And I don't want to waste my time. And I do feel like there is potential for Enhancement Shaman to be my main, but that's why also I'm kinda reticent about it. Like I don't want to waste again my time. So for now, I'm going to wait and see. It will not be my first one to be leveled, and I have to wait for a balancing patch to see the direction that they want it to be. I really want to enjoy Enhancement Shaman again. I do enjoy Enhancement Shaman sometimes, and I do want to prove people wrong. Like people are like saying that it's a D tier spec. I don't feel like it's a D tier spec. I do feel like the playstyle is kind of D tier because I want to be able to Storm Strike or Wind Fury, to Wind Fury whenever we can. So that's the current problem I see. So obviously, right now I'm like kind of overthinking it probably, but I think a lot of people are like overthinking it because Enhancement Shaman is such a spec that is so controversial. I feel like every time I watch a video, people are like very scared about Enhancement Shaman. A lot of like Enhancement Shaman mains do feel like they're like kind of left behind, especially in PvP. I think in PvE they might be really happy because tuning and whatnot. But in PvP, it is like literally night and day, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So for now, I'm keeping Enhancement Shaman as a maybe. If Enhancement Shaman was really strong, like really, like I'm looking at and I feel like it's going to be crazy strong, I would be playing it just for it. But I really want a playstyle change. I really want them to think Storm Strike is back again on the menu. And I feel like right now they see Lava Lash and they just want it to be like a build that everyone is building. They see Lightning Bolts as if we are Elemental Shamans, for example. So yeah, I'll have to see. Rogue. Rogue is interesting. I kind of like fell in love with Rogue these days. I do play a lot of Rogue. I also on Classic I play Rogue. I played on multiple facets of the game right now, where I feel like I really wanna like try my luck with it and try to main it. So I don't know if it's going to be very successful though, because I'm not really a Rogue main in general, and I want to become one because I really have fun with it. But this is really going to be a tough choice, and I think I'm going to level it as second or third to see if I'm going to have fun with it. What I'm excited about Rogue, for example, is World PvP. I think what I'm very excited about Rogue is, for example, 2v2 or solo RPG, where we'll have a lot of high impact games. So for me, right now, the two obvious choices that I'm going to main are Warrior and Rogue, because those two work correctly right now for me. Warrior has always been like the safest choice for me. Rogue has been the one choice I wanted to make since the beginning that I played Rogue a lot in Season 4, but also pre-patch. Not really Season 4, but I would say in pre-patch. And pre-patch, Rogue was not like impressive as well. Like I'm playing like a downgrade Rogue right now. And I also like the aspect that I'm always stealthed whenever I want to. Like in 2v2, I like the comps that you can play. You can play double DPS, you can play healer DPS, which is like a thing that is overlooked by a lot of people. But like being able to double DPS is such a easy going like strategy to have games in, right? Because if you're looking for a healer, sometimes it takes a bit of time. But having like the option to go rogue mage or rogue priest or even rogue warlock is really cool. So for me, I'm liking Rogue and I want to main it. So I'm going to keep it as a main. And then Paladin is also a big what if because I want to play Holy Paladin, but it is with a big caveat where I want to play meaty wings Paladin. And I don't know if it's going to be very good. I tested it on pre-patch. I had fun with it, but I'm very scared of actually the result of it. So I will be testing it. I think I'm going to level it because I do love Retribution Paladin, so that is like a given already. But I want to make Holy Paladin like the real melee wings with judgments, Hammer of Wraths, Crusader Strikes, like that kind of Holy Paladin work. Now I think it will be working in threes. I think it could be working in solo RPGs as well. I don't know if it's going to be competitive though. I know that I will be making it work, but I don't think it's going to be that successful. Although I have like some semblance of ideas where I can feel like, look, this is going to work. It is going to be effective as well, but I'm not sure. So that is a what if, but I think, and I'm kind of like affirmative that I really want to main it. So I'm going to main it as third. I think as third or as a fourth one, I'll be leveling it and I'll be enjoying it. But I don't know if it's going to be very effective. If it's effective, it's all good for me. If it's not, well, it is what it is, right? It just happens to be very random for me. So the fourth one. So generally what I do every expansion is always have 4 mains and then have like a bunch of alts to test like new stuff, to see what is like going to be very strong in the War Within, going to see what is like the counters for it. For example, if I see like something busted, generally I try to play it to see if there is like a counter a counter effect or a counter spell or a counter measure that you can take to stop the OP stuff, for example. So for me, right now, as a fourth main, I do see myself as a Warlock. And Warlock has been my highest rated in PvP for a long time. I think it's also very cool. I think it's also very simple because you have like 3 great specs out there. I do feel like I have a lot of impact in solo queue RPG. I think I have also a lot of impact if I want to do twos. I can also play double DPS as twos. With current self-healing, double DPS is possible. If it nerfs it, then I would say with a healer is probably more comfortable. If you want to do threes, you have multiple comps that you can play in. You can play with a melee, you can play with a caster, you can play multiple sort of comps where you can play a bit of a caster cleave kind of, where you don't really think too much about CC. You can still CC, but like that's not really the end goal. You can also play around like dampening. You can play a bursty comp. You can play a more of a rot comp, for example. You can play a melee caster comp where it's really fun because it's very active at like using your CC and trying to end games because of that, and have like the melee save you from a lot of stuff. If you're playing with a Death Knight, he can pull like the melees away from you. If you're playing with a warrior, he can intervene, for example. So you have multiple goals that you can go for. But also, I really like the fantasy of Warlock. I also enjoy like very much my Warlock. I have like even the green Fellfire like that. I unlocked it very soon because I found it very cool to have as well. And in general, I think it is like a safe bet for me. And right now with my like the how I go in the War Within is trying to find the safest bets possible. And I do find Warlock a very good bet for my content as well, for myself, and just in general. I have huge enjoyment out of Warlock. Now, is it going to be the final choice? Like, do I really want to play only those 4? No, obviously I will be playing Shaman as well. I'll be playing DK as well, but I do decided to sub out the Death Knight and the Shaman out of my mains and replace it with the alts that I put on the previous video, with Warrior and Warlock being alts. I decided to switch places. I think Warrior is ideal first leveler. To be fair, it would be like this, right? My warrior being my first leveler because it is like one of the specs that are like easier to level first, but also I find it the least, how can I say, the least interesting to level, because I think warrior is kind of bland in leveling. It becomes very interesting whenever you're like thinking about comms and how they play and final gameplay, I would say, whenever you have gear. But if you can like rock warrior as first, then you are like having a easier time with the other classes, in my opinion. But also you're getting like 5% increased XP because every time you're going to level a alt or a main, you're going to get 5% increased XP for your whole warband, which is always cool. And then the second would be Warlock, because I find it like always interesting to level Warlock, especially at the start of the season where you can do some random BGs or whatever and get games going for honor. I do feel like Warlock is like a great choice for that. And I do feel like I really want to push Warlock again. Like in Soul Shuffle, I pushed it very hard in season 1, which I really liked. I kind of stepped down, like after season 2, I kind of stopped playing Warlock for some reason. I kind of know why the reason is, because I did play other specs, but I want to go back to Warlock and maybe just main the whole expansion of Warlock, so I have to see for that. And then I will be leveling my rogue, I think, as 3rd, and I will be playing my healer as 4th. I think that is the best choice I can make. Obviously, things can change. If like there is a huge change at the end with shamans, I could say, look, maybe I can replace it with some, so like one of those 4. I do feel like I really wanna main those 4 currently, which are warrior, warlock, rogue, and paladin. Warrior being 1st, warlock being 2nd, rogue being 3rd, and paladin being the 4th one, which is the healer. I'm looking forward to. Now, obviously, I'm saying that I am a alcoholic. Like I have a real problem with that. I love playing multiple classes and specs. I love seeing a spec and see like, is it going to be greener on the other side? Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. But the good thing is it is a game and it is made to enjoy. And if your enjoyment comes from playing multiple specs like me, or if your enjoyment comes from having like a lot of like tastes from multiple directions and multiple POVs, then obviously this is the way to go. You have to find your own fun into the game, and it is a sandbox. People think that World of Warcraft is like a theme park, and you only have like one straight line. But in PvP is a sandbox. You have to know and do your own fun. Sometimes your own fun would be wall PvPing for hours and on without end and trying to be the best wall PvPer out there. If your own fun would be the duels in front of Stormwind, or in front of the new zone from a new capital from the War Within. If it's 2v2, like doing straight like hours of 2v2 content. If you're solo queue RPG enjoyer and you only want to play that, you can also do that. If you want to do threes, you can do threes. If you want to do solo shuffle, you can still do solo shuffle right now. So obviously, I recommend people to chase what you have and what you find fun, instead of having like the meta chase. Because again, I think if I chase the meta currently, I would be playing mage. I think I would be playing evoker. I think I would be playing death knight probably right now, although I do think it's going to be nerfed, because there is a lot of complaints right now on the forums, and a lot of people like rate death knights way too high in PvP and PvE. So I'm very scared about that. But I think if you can chase your own fun, it's going to be it will end up being very fun for you in the end. So yeah, those would be my mains. To be fair, I'm kind of hesitating to like put hunter back up, just because it has been always like something I made content of. I really enjoyed to make content on. But I don't really like the hero tons. That is really my own problem. But like my only problem. If hero tons from hunters would be fixed and have like a much better like fantasy, it would be more enjoyable to me. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you. I know it is again a mains and alt video, but I cannot do many more videos about other stuff until we have the real game coming out, because again, I want to make guides. That's like it is my bread and butter. I really like to do so, and I want to like do like PvP content and try to make you guys entertained or have fun with it. So again, thank you for watching the video. Really appreciate you. I'm very tired, so luckily I did make my video because I really wanted to do so, and I hope you guys are going to have fun, and hope you guys are going to have a blast in the War Within. It's only 3 days, so yeah, I look forward to see you guys in a game. And yeah, again, if you have any suggestions like video wise or anything, please do shoot, so we can have a lot of fun with it as well. Again, have a great day. Bye.